Okay, hello. We're doing Madonna again with this 8:20 potential death day, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something else that happens on that day, or, who knows. But it's definitely a day of interest for Madonna. Um, and we're looking at GoldenEye and also um, the other Bond film, Die Another Day. These both have heavy references to Madonna. Number one, Die Another Day, she's actually in the film as a fencing instructor of all things, which ties us back with a couple of things. Uh, One off the top of my head, though, is um, Who's That Girl? Okay, at the end of Who's That Girl, um, and there's another part in it as well. There's a reference to fencing, okay, sword fighting, and then also um, in GoldenEye, there is a scene to do with a tank and a train that is definitely referenced towards Madonna, okay. And the reason why I say this is, well, let's just look at. Hang on a minute, I got some gematria up somewhere here. What do I do with that? Is it this one, or is it this one? It's this one. Okay, so we've got some gematria here. If we look at Madonna, you can see she's a 62, 26. Okay, and then look at train, 62, 26. In fact, there's a 37 on the end of there that's matching as well. If you look at tank, it also has the 62, 26, and I've just put queen in there as well. She's a queen of pop, 62, 26. Okay, so this 62, 26 connection with tank, train, Madonna. Okay, they use a tank to blow up a train in GoldenEye, and it's quite interesting, the scene, because right at the start of that scene, when they are um, Bond and the this sort of girl in the film are trapped, have been captured, and there's a reference to Boys and Their Toys. And then at the end of the scene, when after the train's been blown up, there's another reference to Boys and Their Toys. And Madonna has the boy toy belt buckle, the boy toy jacket. Okay, it's connected with Madonna, the boy toy. Okay, so that whole scene, which is, in fact, I've got a bit of it here. This whole scene with the tank that goes around destroying the city, sort of thing first, and then we end up here at this point, and it's going to blow the train up. Okay. Anyway, to cut a long story short, there is a ton. I mean, an absolute ton. In fact, I'll just show you the start of that scene. There's an absolute ton of references to um, the Hoover Dam. Okay, Die Another Day, that film starts with a hovercraft chase. Yeah, and we've established before with Back to the Future 2 that the hoverboard is a reference to, or might be a reference to, the Hoover. Yeah, just stick the extra O in there, and you've got Hoover. Okay, the Hoover board instead of hoverboard. So they start Die Another Day with the with the hovercraft chase. Okay, again, GoldenEye starts with Bond jumping off a dam. Okay, that's that famous dam jump scene. Okay, right at the start of that, the little place that he's what want to say, infiltrating. There's a nice reference to the dam breaking inside there. There's a reference to the toilet. There's just all the bits that we expect to see as a reference to coming out of the Matrix and the dam breaking. And again, here with the tank scene, we have we have this wall, and what happens? Blows through the bloody wall with this tank. Okay, you know, you just can't write this stuff. I guess they can write it, but here's that tank. And what's important about the tank is we want to look at the number on it, the 343. Okay, a super duper important number, and we will talk about this number in just 1 second because it does tie in very nicely. In fact, we could just go to the number jump right now. It ties this idea of Madonna in with 9/11 and back to what was I going to say? You know, her death. And in fact, we really want to go to the other scene. Let me just go back to the other scene so I can explain this a little bit. Because we have the tank here that is going to destroy the train. Okay, and train, as we just said, matches up really nicely. In fact, train matches up just a little bit better than tank. Yeah. So, how was that stuff? Oh no, we don't want that one. Although I probably should show you this actually. Hang on a second. Let's just go back to Desperately Seeking Susan. Just note the 274 there, because this has been showing up a ton in these number jumps. Now, let's just go back to the bridge again. 247. So it's jumbled up, but this has been showing up a lot. I don't have any specific number jumps right now to show you with this, but you know, as I go through these number jumps, I've been seeing this an awful lot in it, you know, maybe slightly different guises, but this numerology's been coming up a lot. Anyway, the train does match up a little bit better with the 37 there as well. Okay, so the train's what's getting destroyed. It's closer to Madonna than the tank. Okay, but this is interesting. Just oh dear, we just need to keep this in the back of our mind, this 46, because there's a 64 going to come up, and also the film Tank Girl. Oh dear, I could just go on and on and on about the references back with Madonna. I haven't even plugged any numbers for Tank Girl yet. You know, I just haven't had time to go through all these different decodes we've done over the years and sort of trace back through them and then look at number jumps between those films and this particular 8/20 date coming up. But anyway, so we're looking at, let's do this part first, okay? While we're on the subject of this 247 here, is that we have a situation here. We have this concrete sort of bridge-looking thing with a tunnel here, the black tunnel, and again, we would assume that there's actually 4 pillars right here. So this is a very nice connection, maybe back to the Hoover Dam with the concrete, the idea of the tomb here, and then again the 4 pillars, the 4 inlet towers of the Hoover Dam in a set of 2 on each side. Okay, now this also connects obviously back with the clock tower, you know, in Back to the Future as well, with the 4 pillars, and then the doorway. This doorway is the metaphysical gateway. Okay, it's the Vesica Pisces. And again, this also ties back to 9/11. You've got the twin towers, we've got the extra tower 7, and then what we've got here is it's interesting that this is a square hole, at least what we see at the start of this tunnel. So this black square hole, which is like the you know, the ground zero pools. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Anyway, I did some number jumps with this, because you can get a whole bunch of stuff out of this number. Okay, and I did some number jumps with the 247 and the 742, and I found something interesting with the 742 number jump, and it actually ties this scene that's to do with Madonna to another character in Die Another Day that also heavily ties in with Desperately Seeking Susan, and of course it ties the two films together here as well. Okay, so it ties this actual scene with this 247 in with a birthday that's in the other film. Now that person that I'm thinking of is in Die Another Day, and it's Halle Berry. Now why do I bring up Halle Berry? Because the blooming birthday jumps out, because if you watched the Desperately Seeking Susan stuff, you will know that I was making this connection with Magic Johnson and the Magic Club that's in Desperately Seeking Susan, okay, to Madonna's death. Because Magic Johnson, if she dies on 8/20, Magic Johnson's birthday was 6 days previous to that, his 66th birthday. So what that means is that Magic Johnson on that day will be 666. So we have this connection with 666 and the Magic Johnson. Now the Magic Johnson is this thing, okay? It's this blooming thing right here, okay? This is the Magic Club that everybody's in. Illuminati confirmed. The Magic Club, okay? In the film, the Magic Club is the sort of place of interest, and of course the club being a phallic symbolism, the Magic Club, and this is the Magic Johnson. Yeah, this is the upward arrow. So this is the, in this format, this would represent the phallus, and if you flipped it round, it would be the womb. Okay, it'd be the feminine. But in this format, we're looking at the phallus symbolism along with the Egyptian stuff. So obviously the Osiris golden phallus, the gold member here. And this is what I think I kind of mentioned this in the last video, or at least I hinted towards it. This is the golden eye, the golden eye of provenance. Okay, so this is the golden eye. Yeah, hence the name Golden Eye for the film. Okay, so yeah, this is the golden eye, right? And so what was interesting was Halle Berry obviously has the same 8/14 day of the year date for her birthday. And what is also interesting about Halle Berry is that she is actually born in 66 and is now 58. Yeah, it's kind of like the reverse of Madonna being born in 58 and is now, well, she's more than 66 now, but the 66 reference with the 666 is where we've been going with this. Yeah, and so I've still got a couple more videos to do about Pulp Fiction, but that 666, what is in that briefcase with the 666 that's gold, likelihood is it's supposed to be the gold member inside that briefcase. Okay, likelihood, maybe that's what they're referencing there. Okay, that's the thing he's lost, old Marcellus Wallace. He's lost his gold his gold member. So anyway, I did a number jump. Okay, so that's 742 that's on the top of the tunnel there. I did a number jump back from 8/20, this potential death date for Madonna, and it, lo and behold, where I ended up was the 10th of August, which is Rosanna Arquette's birthday. In fact, it's her 46th birthday, okay, which is super duper important. So not only do we have that, not her 46th, sorry, a 64th birthday. So we had the 46 in that gematria just now. But what else is interesting is the song for the film, Into the Groove, okay, is blah 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 blah. What is it? It's on Madonna's, on this death date here. That song is 14646 days old. Okay, so that is pretty darned interesting with this connection with her. I know it's the reverse, it's 64, but it is kind of interesting. Okay. Um, what else? What else was I going to mention about this? So anyway, that was that number that's on the top of the tunnel, and it's connecting the two twins. Now, what I must also say about this is GoldenEye is actually about the twins. It's a twinism thing going on with James Bond, which is Pierce Brosnan, and the baddie guy who is Yanis. Okay, yeah, or Janice, or however you want to say that. But Janice is that twinism, god of the gateway and the future and the past, yada yada yada. It's the two faces facing off. Okay, so I have that twinism thing going on there. The end of something, the beginning of something, which is interesting again with the twinism that is in Desperately Seeking Susan. Anyway, we'll come on to those two characters in just a second. But what else was I saying here? Let me show you now. So I thought, well, it'd be interesting to see if any of these people match up with an interesting number jump to this particular date. This is the kind of thing I do, is just mess around, putting in numbers, and then, something interesting will come up. I was on my third look at this number. I did Madonna, I did Pierce Brosnan, and then I went to Halle Berry was my next choice, and I put Halle Berry's birthday in to see through to this 8/10/2023. Okay, so we went back this 247. I say 247, but we're going 742. We're doing it in reverse. We're going backwards. Did it in reverse. Took me to the first twin date, Rosanna Arquette. Okay, that's super important with Desperately Seeking Susan. Okay, with the golden eye on the thing. Then I did Halle Berry, who is on the same day as Magic Johnson. Okay, not the same year, but the same day of the year. We went from her through to the 10th of August 2023, and something interesting shows up. Okay, that date there, that number, should I say, that number jump, 20816. Now you can see in that number there, see the middle of the number's our sort of reflective line. And so on one side of the number we have a birthday, 816, and on the other side of the number is this 20, the 20th of August. And I just was like, oh man, how is that even possible to get that? How is that even possible? I mean, of all the, there's only a couple of ways that this can come out, a couple of dates that this can come out on. You can do the 247 number jumps, and then you can do the 742 number jumps, which is what I was in. Just happened to come out on one of Rosanna Arquette's birthday, 46, which happens to just tie in with Into the Groove. That's the song for Desperately Seeking Susan. And then, to top that off, this 8/14 with Magic Johnson, and then Halle Berry having the same birthday, and the 66 in there, and the 58 years old. And I mean, it just, how's that even possible? Anyway, and I mean, it's not anything, the number itself, and that, you've got to look at it to see that it's got the 20th of August in there, and then I just say April a minute ago. Anyway, the 20th of August, and then the 16th of August in there. Okay, so it's just, oh dear, just crazy. Okay, so that's part of the decode here. I haven't even got to the good stuff yet. Okay, so that tank, did we do this? So the 9/11 reference there in that with that tunnel, okay, with the ground zero hole, with the three towers, and if you go from 9/11 and do the 343 day number jump, that's bringing us out to that train, the train wreck. Oh dear, 820. That's pretty nice as well. Pretty crazy for sure. And of course, 343 is pretty an important number with the 777. Yeah, the 7 cubed. What else we got here? Oh, that's just going from 2001, and it just happens to be 23 years, 343 days. So the 23 was again interesting with the 32-23 Magic Johnson type thing going on with the 23 years. Let's just keep backtracking now, and I'll just go through the rest of these number jumps. Okay, we don't want to do this number jump quite yet. What I want to do is to show you this. No, 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 this one, and then we'll go back to that one wherever it was now. So this is again Desperately Seeking Susan's release date through to this potential. We've shown this one before in a different video, through to the 820. Notice that it's 40 years and 131. We've got the 131 showing up again. It shows up quite a lot with Madonna, 131, and obviously from Madonna's birthday to Christmas is 131 days. I think Like a Virgin has the 131 numerology when its release day. I mean, you can pick tons of stuff, and obviously the thing that sticks out the most with 131, we just had some of that stuff with Ozzy, with the Pi Date jumps with 131, and then of course the train in Back to the Future, again 131, and Madonna tying in with the train. Anyway, 14741. Okay, and I did mention in that last video as well that this one says palindropic, super interesting, super nice. And again, this is the French Independence Day, Bastille Day. Okay, now that's going to become important with this character here. So let's go back to this number jump. Where was it? Oh, joy. Was it this one? Okay, yeah. So this is Sean Bean, who plays Janice in the film, the antagonist. Okay, this is his birthday, and it just so happens that he's in his 66 year right now as well. And I might have the number jump in here somewhere, but if we don't come across it here in just a second, coincidentally, this is very interesting because of this number jump right here. His birthday, his 66 years and 6 day birthday, comes out on St. George's Day, okay, 4/23. Now, if you recall, with our Omaha stuff with Peyton Manning and the stuff with Ozzy, it was tying into a little section of a decode chart that I've got, and the numbers that were tying together were actually the numbers of St. George's Day and 7/22, and in fact we could just go to that right now. I don't know what I've got up here. I was looking at someone else here. Let's get this chart up so I can show you where we were looking at. So we were looking at this portion of this chart right here. Okay. Now, what was important about this was, no, we weren't looking at that portion of the chart. Come on, we were looking at this portion of the chart. And what was interesting, this was the metaphysical. This was Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, and this is the top of the clock tower here. Okay, and this is the clock face, and this is where the lightning strikes, and you get the Y here, and you get the Ozzy here, And then we did the decode in Back to the Future with the Honda, the yellow Honda with this on the number plate, the 437, and that 437 on the number plate tied in with Ozzy, which was Ozzy in the reverse alphabet Jurassic Liars decode. I say decode cipher. Okay, if you use Jurassic Liars idea of a reverse alphabet, taking the numbers, the letters out of that oppose each other. If you have the alphabet running one way and then have it in reverse, take the letters for Aussie, and what you'll get in return is bull. Okay, and then the number plate was ULG in Back to the Future with this number here, and ULG changed to FOT. So Aussie, that's right here, with this number here, was in Back to the Future, basically giving us a ball and the foot, so the football, okay, which was connecting us back with Peyton Manning again and a whole bunch of English football stuff as well. Oh dear, sorry I have to go back through a lot of this stuff to make, so it just helps it make a little bit more sense. But we were really looking at this stuff here because Peyton Manning's birthday is the reverse of St. George's Day. So 423 is St. George's Day, 324 is Peyton Manning's birthday, and here was Ozzy's death day. Here's Ozzy's birthday one way, okay, and then the death day, and then there was that number plate number, and it gives you know, hang on, let's get rid of all this a second so we can just make a bit more sense of it. But that would give you the, you know, his birthday and that, and then that number in the thing was giving us a Z. I don't think I showed that, but it was just interesting that it does that. And then obviously, you know, Ozzy's birthday's in here as well. It's right here, just depending on the way you read the number. And here is St. George's Day again. And I think Prince George is actually born on the 22nd of July. No doubt. Wonder why he's called George. Anyway, well, where was I going with this? I can't remember now. Yeah, I really can't remember now what I was saying. I think Madonna has some was 347, or was it? Let's just backtrack just for a second. And I've got that gematria somewhere. Where was it? Yes, it was Desperately Seeking Susan that just happens to be a 347 as well. There's the 131 in that as well. And 94 also ties to that particular number that's at the top of the tunnel, because the 247th day of the year is the 4th of September. So, I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can get out of this, obviously. And I'm not even touching on some of the old decode stuff that's in here. But anyway, so St. George's Day, what I'm trying to say is that St. George's Day is super duper important with this tie-in. Again, back to what we've just been looking at with Ozzy and whatchamacallit, Peyton Manning. Anyway, let me show you this. So this was, where the hell's that gone now? Okay, so this was, yeah, this, I've got the number jump in here. This is the 66 years, 6 days for getting out onto the 423 there, okay, with Sean Penn. So tying into this pretty interestingly right now. So let me show you, where was we at? Was it this one? Yeah. So when you go from Sean Penn's birthday, why am I saying Sean Penn now? Sean Bean. Sean Penn is, bloody hell, Dan. Sean Penn is Madonna's ex-husband, okay, which we're going to look at probably in another video. I don't know when I'll get round to doing that one, to do with What's interesting about it is there is some interesting number jumps, and it's the film Vision Quest. Okay, she's only in it briefly, but she does the music for it, and or some of the does a song for it. And what's interesting about Vision Quest, with everything that's been going on right now, is it's about a wrestler basically, and a woman that he falls in love with, that is headed to San Francisco. Um, and what am I trying to think of? And there's a bunch of Hoover Dam references in there. Okay, so anyway, it was just interesting with the Hulk dying as well. Anyway, let's get back to this. So his birthday, 417, obviously has the numerology for the 14th of July in it, okay, which is here, and the 14th of July is Bastille Day, French Independence Day. So liberation again. This is interesting with the Statue of Liberty tie-in with um, back to Paris and the idea of liberation again there, and liberty. Okay, and so the French Independence Day. So the idea of liberation, and again the liberation from the Second World War occupation of France. Okay. Now, what's interesting about that is that the number jump that we did for D-Day. D-Day is on 6/6/1944, but the 6/6. Then you add on 88 days, and it's going to take us to the 9/1 date for the Hoover Dam. So this was just interesting to me that Sean Bean's birthday jumped through to the French liberation thing. And the reason why this is important as well with Paris, with of course Decoding with Cody was just talking about the some stuff with the car crashes recently, and tying in with Diana. Obviously, Diana dies in Paris, and they have this reference to the Statue of Liberty with the torch there. It's this idea of liberation again, and this is really what we're thinking about, is the idea of the whole ritual of the Hoover Dam falling and World War III starting is about liberation from the Matrix. But anyway, seven. So anyway, so you do the 88 days from 6/6, and it's going to take you to that 9/1. Okay, again, this idea of liberation. Okay, but this is just absolutely crazy with the 7 double 4 1, the double 417 174, however you want to look at that, right? And when we looked at the initial release of uh, Desperately Seeking Susan through, and it's again, we've got the same thing coming up, and we've got this connection to Die Another Day. Yeah, that is tying in with the idea of Princess Diana, Die Another Day. In the film, it's all about the the dire moon. Yeah, the diamonds, diamond. Okay, dire moon. Okay, which is Diana, the moon goddess. Okay. Um, what else? Anyway, so this is tying us in with Madonna back to Die Another Day as well. Through this idea of Diana again with the idea of liberation. Okay, French Independence Day, and this is what's going on 6/6 D-Day. They're about to liberate France from the Nazis. Okay. This is our number jump on the D-Day Denver Broncos clock. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just interesting. Sean Bean is tying in with his 6/6/6 with the St. George who is tying in with Peyton Manning's birthday. Okay, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just bloody mental, isn't it? So we've done all that lot. Well, it gets better than that. Okay, there's still more in here. And the funny thing is, I haven't even really. There's more to this, but I haven't really done everything that I probably could possibly do yet with it. I don't think there may be even more to this. So we've also got the song "Die Another Day" from Madonna. This date, the October the 22nd, ties in with Christopher Lloyd's birthday. It also ties in with a blimmin' train crash that I just cannot get out of my head, which is the Montparnasse train crash, which happens in, yes, that's in Paris, I believe, as well. So that's also interesting. 1895 maybe, I can't remember. But if we do that number jump, what you'll notice is this 8338 palindromic number, and obviously there's some gematria to do with that as well that will tie us back to the idea of death. And the same, we've got another number jump coming up as well that will tie us back to some gematria with that as well. Maybe not the gematria, but maybe a connection with that. We'll get to that in just a second. But if you remember the funeral rites video, there was several references to 8338, and there was also some 22 references, and then again we've got the 22 years, 302 days here, the 32 with Magic Johnson. Let me show you this one. This one will blow your mind now. So in keeping with the 38, what we've got here is we've got the release of the actual film. Okay, Die Another Day. Die Another Day. Die. Here's this 274 number showing up again here. This is what I'm talking about. It just keeps popping up here and there. Die Another Day. Now look at this. This is the release of the film through to 820. Look at this. 831. 8,310. But 831 here is giving us, yeah, Princess Diana's death date. Die Another Day. And this is, could this be Madonna dying on another day here? Or the connection to Diana's death? I don't know. You know, that's mental to me. There's also another date, which is the 22nd, which jumps us into the 838 palindromic stuff again, like we just saw with this one, the 8338. Okay, so, but that is just, to me, that's crazy as well. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the sort of their initial sort of I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy, isn't it? Okay, have I done everything? I don't know if I've even done everything. The golden eye. Yeah, I think I have done everything. You know, we've talked about the number jump 343 from 9/11. We've talked about, you know, this is the golden eye, the connections with Desperately Seeking Susan, the twinism in this film. Yeah, the connection back with the tunnel number jump back to her birthday, and then we're tying back in with Halle Berry's birthday that's in Die Another Day. And so we're jumping backwards and forwards between three different films here, but they're all closely connected. Oh, here's a number. Here's this other number jump. Almost. Oh, actually, I've got two more number jumps, I think. This is the release of GoldenEye. We got the 187, the murder, death, kill number in there as well. And then, there was one more. Yeah, this was it. Pierce Brosnan. Okay, now in a leap year, Pierce Brosnan and Madonna will actually match up. Her normal twin date for her birthday is actually 5/17, which we've seen quite a few connections there, with especially with like the FA Cup and Crystal Palace, and coincidentally they have an Ice Palace in Die Another Day. The Ice Palace, the Crystal Palace. Yay. So we got this number jump from Pierce Brosnan's birthday through to Madonna's, just to see what the difference was, and it's 1919, double 19. And again, you know, this idea of the Hoover Dam coming down on the 1st of September, St. Giles's Day, Labour Day. Oh, if we had a holiday, as Madonna would say, we got a double holiday, okay, with that date. What else we got? That's it. We've done all these ones. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Again, it is interesting that we are 23 years on from 9/11, especially with Magic Johnson's 32 number. That is kind of interesting now. Think about it. Okay, the one that which one do I like out there the best? Which one's the best one? I don't know actually. On the number jumps, Halle Berry one's mental. The 343, it's mental. I don't know. They're all mental. Okay. The Princess Diana one is pretty mental. And I haven't even run numbers. I mean, somebody might want to do it and just look at Princess Diana's. I haven't even run the numbers for her, like her birthday and death date, through to some of these film dates. I just haven't got time. I'm going through stuff that's several days old here, and I've not made much of a dent in it yet. I've still got a ton more stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, and I'll catch you on another one soon. I know the hypothetical stuff is a bit, trying to predict a date is super difficult. I mean, I've been doing this for I don't know how long now, and every time I think I've got something, nothing really happens. Every once in a while something superficial happens on that date. Just like I was saying the other day with, or something might happen with Peyton Manning, and I never in a million years connected bloody Ozzy Osbourne to Peyton Manning, but now in the looking back on it in hindsight, it's pretty obvious that they can the connection is Ozzy, ball, okay, and Peyton Manning with the football, okay, and the Omaha and the Wizard of Oz returning home, and geez, I don't know. So super difficult to predict out stuff. I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching, and catch on another one here pretty soon. All right, cheers, bye.